1,765 clues have come and gone, but 26 new ones are headed your way as part of this 66th episode of Disney 100 Jeopardy! Welcome in. As always, I am your host, Bryan Perri, and thank you so much for joining me. It's time to take a look at the rules on your screen. They're the same rules as always, which means it's time to tell you. If you want to cheat, go right ahead. I couldn't care less because I won't know you're doing so. So, be my guest. In last week's episode 65, the final Jeopardy category was moms. That's because it is Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I've got a category for you guys today all about your favorite moms in the Disney universe. But guess what? That's not your thing. I've got 4 other categories as well, including 3 that came from the comment section. Ooh, drum roll please. Let's check them out. Once again, in honor of Mother's Day, moms will be your first category. The second category, you will be playing a suggestion from the comments, zoomed in covers. Shout out to Claudia, who came up with this idea in the comment section. I loved it. Can't believe I haven't done it yet. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cover from the Disney feature animation website. This way, none of you guys get upset about which cover I chose. These are the ones on the Disney website. I will zoom into one of them, and you will have to identify what movie that little snippet of a cover is from. The third category you'll be playing, another suggestion from the comments. It is Brave. Joe has been suggesting this category for a number of months, so you've got 5 clues headed your way about Pixar's 2012 movie. In the fourth category, you'll be playing your Disney Parks category of the week, DisneyQuest. Yes, remember DisneyQuest from back in the day? The indoor theme park lived for 18 years, I believe. Nope. 19 years at the Walt Disney World Resort, and it was an awesome place. At least it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Then it started fading. You'll have 5 clues headed your way to reminisce about the good old days at DisneyQuest. And the fifth and final category you'll be playing, another suggestion. It is Hear the Ending. Catherine suggested this last week, and I love it. I've done categories on songs that played during credits. If you haven't done that, check out that episode. I don't remember what episode it is, but I'll link it down below. This is not during the credits. This is right before the credits hit. I will play you some audio from a Disney movie, and based on that music you hear right before the credits hit and the movie ends, you'll have to tell me what movie you would be watching. And with that, it is now time for the easiest round of the game, the cupcake round. All of these clues are worth just 200 points each, so hopefully you go 5 for 5 and bank 1,000 points under your belt. We kick things off. In honor of Mother's Day, it is moms for 2. To the majority of the world, she's known as Mrs. Incredible or Elastigirl, but Dash, Jack Jack, and Violet's mother's name is actually this. Who is Helen Parr?
I'd like to speak to Edna, please. E? This is Helen.
Helen who?
Helen Parr? You know, Elastigirl.
It's time for your first zoomed in cover. Let's see if you can guess the movie. Yeah, I'm not sure if you were able to tell, but those little animal friends are looking up at the one and only Sleeping Beauty. Well, they're looking up at Aurora, but the cover is from Sleeping Beauty. I was originally going to use the Sleeping Beauty 50th anniversary cover, but then I thought things would get a little crazy if I was mixing anniversary covers and picking DVDs or VHSs or posters and stuff. So nope, Disney Feature Animation website is where you will find every single one of these covers that you'll be playing through today. We move on now to the first clue from the Brave category. It's worth 200. Merida has this many siblings. She's got 3 brothers.
I became a sister to 3 new brothers, the princes, Hamish, Hubert, and Harris.
It's time for some DisneyQuest action, so let's go back in time for 200 points. Before being renamed in 2016, this was the name of the shopping and entertainment district that was home to the original DisneyQuest. Don't overthink it. Some of you may have said the West Side, which is an expansion of what was then Downtown Disney. So Downtown Disney is my answer, though if you said West Side because you thought I was being more specific about the place in Disney Springs or Downtown Disney as it used to be called, that's fine too. So Downtown Disney or the West Side works for me. And here comes the final clue of the 200-point round, the cupcake round. Listen up and tell me what you're watching. The correct answer is Frozen. Let's move on to the second round. That's a little harder. These are worth 400 points each. And once again, happy Mother's Day. It's time for another mom clue. Angela Lansbury voices this mother in Disney's 1991 feature animation film. Now, I could have put Beauty and the Beast in that clue, but I thought it would have been too easy. So I just said 1991. Hopefully you knew that Angela Lansbury was Mrs. Potts, mother of Chip. And I feel like a bunch of other dishes, right? Aren't they all his brothers and sisters? I don't remember. Either way, Mrs. Potts is your correct answer.
Are they gonna live happily ever after, Mama?
Of course, my dear. Of course.
All right, let's check out your second zoomed-in cover. They look like they're having a good time. Where are they from? Well, maybe not where are they from, because they're probably from Paris, but the correct answer is the cover for Hunchback of Notre Dame. Let's be brave and take on brave for the second time. This clue's worth 400. Merida's horse's name. Who is Angus?
I'm starving. You hungry too, Angus?
Here comes your second clue from the DisneyQuest category. DisneyQuest closed in 2017 and was replaced by this short-lived interactive entertainment attraction. Correct answer is the NBA Experience, and I've talked about this in the past. I went to the NBA Experience. It was pretty cool for what it was, but it only lasted about 8 months before COVID came and killed it. But I'll tell you what, if COVID didn't come and kill it, it would have died off anyway, because that made absolutely no sense. How do you replace DisneyQuest with the NBA Experience when you own ESPN and could have built an entire sports world, like an ESPN zone back in the day, but times 5 floors? That would have catered to a bunch of audiences, but instead you went with the NBA route, which only catered to basketball fans. Made absolutely no sense. But here's some footage of when I was there. Look at that. Yep. The Knicks need a walk-on. I am your guy. All right, here comes your final clue of the 400-point round. We are once again opening our ears to identify what movie we're watching. 'If you were thinking jazz, you were thinking correctly. The correct answer is Princess and the Frog. 10 clues down, 16 remain as we make our way to the third round of the game. This is where we start determining who cares a little too much about Disney. Let's find out if you do. It's time for another Mother's Day special. Here comes Moms for 6. The name of Simba's mother. Mufasa mentions her briefly in a conversation with Scar. The correct answer is Sarabi.
Sarabi and I didn't see you at the presentation of Simba.
That was today?
Are you 2 for 2 in the zoomed in covers section? Let's find out if you could keep the perfect streak going with cover number 3. It's worth 6. Well, if you got it right, that means you know that that treehouse was the site of a horrific murder. That's right, I'm talking about Tarzan. Here comes the brave category for the 3rd time. According to Queen Eleanor, a princess should never put this on the dinner table. What is her weapon?
I'll finish what I guddled in the first place.
Merida, a princess does not place her weapons on the table.
Mom!
Let's go back in time and play some outdated arcade games at DisneyQuest. Bill Nye the Science Guy hosted a portion of this attraction that allowed you to design and ride your own virtually built roller coaster. What is Cyberspace Mountain?
Here you have the opportunity to create your own roller coaster, and once you've done that, you can get on an F-16 flight simulator and experience what you just created.
How well do you know your movie endings? Listen up for your 3rd clue from the Hear the Ending category. The correct answer here is Peter Pan. Speaking of Peter Pan, how cool do these new rides look coming to Tokyo Disney Sea out in Japan? They're part of the Fantasy Springs expansion, which opens next month. And that also includes a Tangled boat ride and Frozen boat ride. Man, I just want to book a trip to Tokyo right now for this. This looks awesome. Meanwhile, here in the States, if we get a new popcorn bucket every year and a half, we consider ourselves lucky. So whatever. Once again, Tokyo Disney Sea expands its lead in the race for Disney's best park in the world. All right, it is now time for the 800-point round. We're getting to expert level, folks. Let's see how well you do. The last line Bambi's mom says before... You know what? But you know what I'm saying. Her last line. I'll say that. Well, Bambi's mom's last line. Correct answer is keep running. Why did I choose that clue? Keep running! Keep running! All right, let's move on to the second 800-point clue. It's another zoomed-in cover. The correct answer is Chicken Little. It is time for Brave for the 4th time. These 3 young lads attempt to win Merida's hand in a game of archery. This is the name of the only suitor who successfully hits the bullseye in the center of the target. Well, if you're looking at the screen, you've got MacGuffin on the left, you've got Macintosh on the right, but that handsome devil right in the middle, might I say, he is a very skilled archer. Archer, right? Yeah. And his name is Wee Dingwall.
Oh, come on! Shit, boy!
Well done, lad! Well, feast your eyes!
All right, let's move on to DisneyQuest for 800. After opening the original in 1998, Disney opened a second DisneyQuest in this American city in 1999. It lasted just over 2 years until 2001. The correct answer is Chicago.
It's called DisneyQuest, and it's located on the corner of Ohio and Rush in Chicago, just 1 block west of Michigan Avenue.
JR, right behind us is a 5-story building that is an indoor interactive theme park.
All right, it is time for the final clue before the dramatic 1,000-point round. It is Hear the Ending for 800. That ending is from the 2016 hit movie Moana. 20 clues are down and 6 remain, but before we get to Final Jeopardy, you know what time it is. That's right, it is now time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused, unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game. The 1,000 point round. Hit it. It's time for some intense Disney trivia. In fact, the hardest part of the game, 1,000 point round, begins with Mother's Day. Hi, Mom. For 1K. A mother puts her 1-year-old daughter in the front seat of her minivan while driving to get gas and dinner in this film. While I was researching possible answers for the mothers category this week, I looked up, best Disney moms, all that, and Mrs. Davis from Toy Story popped up as a great mom, and she is a great mom, until I was watching kind of a highlight reel of all of her scenes, and I saw this. Oh my gosh, what are we doing? She puts Andy in the back seat and throws the baby's chair facing the window in the front seat. And yeah, Molly is just soaking it all in. And then they just leave Molly in the car to go get gas, by the way. So Mrs. Davis, definitely dropping down my power rankings of the best Disney moms. But yeah, that made me laugh. All right, it's time for the final clue from Zoomed In Covers. Ooh, spooky cover. What's it from? What I should have done was slid the zoomed in portion over here and said, what is this? Because the correct answer is The Black Cauldron. Man, that was a scary cover. All right, here comes your final clue from the Brave category. The name of the establishment Merida meets the witch in. The correct answer is The Crafty Carver.
Welcome to the Crafty Carver, home of bear-themed carvings and novelties. If you'd like to inquire about portraits or wedding cake toppers, pour vial 1 into the cauldron. If you're that red-haired lass, vial 3 to speak with a live homunculus.
I love that. I love the fake answering machine out of a black cauldron. Oh, look at that, we tie them together. Yeah, Brave, by the way, now that we're done with the category, love it. Feel like it's very underrated and not appreciated enough. We move on to the final clue from the DisneyQuest category. One of the indoor theme park's biggest attractions was a larger-than-life virtual pinball game themed after this movie/show. I say movie/show, but really it was themed after the show. The correct answer is Mighty Ducks. Yes, look at that giant pinball game. It was terrible. It was not, I thought it was really bad. You would just do this the entire time. I feel like there was no rhyme or reason to anything you were doing. Maybe that's because I was just bad at it. And I was, you know what, that's probably what it was. I'm sure it was a very cool game. All right, it's time for the final clue on the board before Final Jeopardy. Listen up. Can you identify the movie? That ending happens to be from Disney's most recent feature animation film. Not sure how many of you saw it. The correct answer is Wish. "25 clues are down, and before we get to the final one that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the next 7 days, I have to ask you, did you like Wish? Because I liked Wish. But I feel like I'm in the minority, and I'm curious to gauge the response on people who care way too much about Disney and their opinion on Wish specifically. I thought the ending was terrible. I did think the ending was really bad, but I thought the rest of the movie was fine. It's got some good songs. It's got some questionable songs as well.
You're a star! Yes!
But I don't know. I liked it overall. Thought it was fine. Anyway, back to the game now. Let me know in the comments. Back to the game now. It's time for the part of the game that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the next 7 days. It is Final Jeopardy! Let's check out the category. Not the right fit. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is there are a lot of famous actors in the world who have been cast or either auditioned for a specific Disney character and ultimately it went to somebody else. That's what this is all about. Might be a tough category, so wager as much as you want, but not too much perhaps. Who am I kidding? I tell you, go in all the time. So if you want to adjust your wager and go all in, go all in. Okay, let's check out the final clue from this episode 66. It's once again from the category of not the right fit. This famous actress was originally cast to voice Merida in 2012's Brave, but due to scheduling conflicts, she was replaced. Now, I put scheduling conflicts in quotes because a lot of rumors state that's not why she dropped out of the film. So, either way, you know who the actress is? Good luck! And time is up. The correct answer is Reese Witherspoon. That's right, the one and only Legally Blonde actress was supposed to be Merida in Brave, but then she dropped out, again, because of scheduling conflicts, but a lot of people say it's because she hated doing the Scottish accent so much. In fact, there's this clip that came out a few years ago, and I think she's alluding to a certain Pixar film that we know and love.
What are the hard ones to do, talking about accents? Scottish?
Scottish is really... I was supposed to... I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, go on.
I tried to do a Scottish accent once.
Really?
It was bad. I had to quit the movie.
You did? Over the accent?
It's not my finest moment.
So whether it was scheduling conflicts or just not being able to do the accent, pretty crazy. Now, Reese Witherspoon was supposed to voice the one and only Pixar princess. And that will do it for this episode of Disney 100 Jeopardy. You know the deal. If you, yes you, like what you saw, be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon. Hello, bell. This way, you are notified every time we come out with brand new content. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. I'll see you in a week for episode 67 featuring the category of Not the Right Fit. Till then.
Bye-bye.